After the invasion of Gutans and a giant famine, the Akkadian Empire, which I talked about in the previous video, collapsed. They sacked the cities and there were many city-states. We don't know who they were, and our sources about them are very limited. Even after all of that, old cities were still there, and after a lot of time, Ur-Nammu defeated them and made an independent city-state. Things weren't done as they were still there. After defeating Gutian King Tirigan, the now-known third dynasty of Ur started, but we must know that most things about Gutians we got from legends and exaggerations. One of the biggest fighters for Sumerian freedom was Utu-Hengal, and Ur-Nammu was married to his sister. His capital was Ur, and that was beginning of Sumerian Renaissance. He easily conquered historically Sumerian cities like Lagash without much resistance. He wrote a code which might be the first written code in law. And it was pretty fair as punishments for rich and poor were similar. He built many things, and summer was basically in the Golden Age, and one of his most famous buildings was Ziggurat of Ur, for moon god Nana, which could be inspiration for biblical story of Tower of Babel, as it was twice restored. And those Gutians came back and attacked. They killed Ur-Nammu, and Shulgi of Ur took power. He continued his father's campaigns, and they were more successful. From ancient documents, we see that he continued conquering and even got to Elam and formed Akkadian territories. They defeated the city of Dare and went north as far as Erbilam. To the east, he conquered Elam and Anshan. He was focused on those territories mostly because of resources. Elam was hard to conquer as the language was different, and they were big rivals, even when Sargon was conquering. He allied with Shamashki and another kingdom, but they didn't necessarily help. He for now had enough resources. On the other side, he conquered the Mediterranean. And as history goes, successful leaders come and go when they are ruling. They like making cults of personality or making them divine or anything just to make them seem more powerful, and Shulgi was no exception. He made temples, hymns, and other things. His hymns also says that he was powerful and had relations with gods. And to stabilize the empire for the first time in history, he made provinces, and Ensis ruled it, which will inspire Persian and Roman Empire for their provinces. And there were schools for people to be able to do jobs. He had his calendar, so life there was pretty good. He reigned for 47 years and died in 2047 before Christ. Amar-Sin was the next leader. The Amorites began invading, but the downfall hadn't begun yet. Provinces began succeeding, and it was just a matter of time before it falls. Elam declared independence, and it went to conquer Susa. Kindatu conquered rest of Sumer, and it ended in 2004 before the Lord.